Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. I hope that you are well. I'm just taking to everybody. So, of course, you see, we are here. We are live. Welcome, y'all, to Pretty Realist Podcast. And today we are doing something that I like to call the Realist Lounge, where we have real conversations, real people, and we just, we get on here and we congregate, we talk about nuances, situations that's going on in our community, situations that's going on in our country, and we just bring voices together and we just figure out solutions. We should be in a very solution based atmosphere mindset right now because we have so much that's being thrown at us. We don't know which way to go. We don't know who's telling the truth. We don't know who not telling the truth. So this is just a perfect time for us to really just like talk and chop it up. And I wanted to do this with my gentlemen today. Last week, if you weren't here, we had the ladies on here, Black conservative minded women. We sat on here. We talked about everything from politics to identity to community to what made us become something different than what a lot of our peers are, which are Democrats. A lot of us were born Democrat. A lot of us come from families who are full of Democrats. But a lot of us were able to kind of shift our mindsets for a better life changing situation. So today we have a few gentlemen on here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves because I feel like I can't even give y'all the shine that y'all deserve. I feel like there needs to be a sun right now on these gentlemen right here because we have some amazing speakers. I'm going to start with my friend, the political agitator, and then we're going to go all the way around. So, political agitator, introduce yourself. Tell them what moment in your life made you start questioning the narrative you were taught growing up, and then we're going to go all the way around. Go
Okay,
ahead.
thanks, Shannon. Thank you to all the guests that's on here. I don't know you brothers personally. I do know Shannon pretty well through TikTok actually, and it feels like I've known her for a long time. So I appreciate her inviting me on this panel. Um, I guess I would say most of us um, we were born, like you just said, we were born into this Democrat shit. And I think my breakaway was, I would say, about 10 years ago, like in 2013, because I voted for Obama twice, unfortunately. And then after, doing, research, I found a brother on YouTube actually around 2013, and he kind of opened my eyes up to a lot of stuff. And just doing my due diligence and my research on, the stuff that Barack Obama, how he was placed and all the stuff that he did. Not going to go into all that stuff because that's not what this is about. But that was my breaking point. I would say 2013, where I just kind of woke up and I was like, you know what we were taught, what we were born into is not what is really not what it is. And the veil was pulled over my eyes, and I was open to, just listening to other perspectives. And as I listened to other perspectives, and because I believe we all have conservative values, even though even these so-called liberals and Democrats, what I'm saying, we all have conservative values. And the Shannon, before everybody came on the panel, me and Shannon were talking about, we were just talking, and we were saying that most of these people, what I'm saying, they are conservative, and even in the way they move in their daily life, they move as conservative, but they have normalized all this radical stuff that's going on. So I'll land right there. I'm glad to be here. You muted.
Well, I was next.
No, Dave's next.
Oh, I'm
Okay, I
next.
was about to
Okay.
say.
Well, all right. Hey, I'm Dave Anderson, 22-time best-selling author. For me, it was very evident early on. I grew up with older parents, which means I had older grandparents. And my mother's mother sat down with me one day, and she said, "You know what I don't understand?" I said, "No, Mimar, what you don't understand?" She said, "My children, your mother, your aunts, your uncles, they all went out here and got hoses poured on them and dogs sicked on them, was sitting in at lunch counters to eat unseasoned food." She said, "Everybody except your mom, because she was a emergency birth, was born in black hospitals, the black doctors, everybody we needed, even our veterinarian was black. We didn't have to lead a block for damn near anything. And name me 3 black hotels. And I was like, and she was like, okay, name me 3 black butcher shops. I couldn't. And she kept breaking it down. And I was just like, hmm. And then we keep voting one way all of the time. And all they got to do is give us some fried chicken or some slang or pull out Quavo or, get Megan Thee Stallion in a very appropriately fitting blue pantsuit, which I didn't mind that much. But twerking for votes was kind of, yeah, like that's not going to get my vote. My whole thing is black people have got to stop being the scapegoat, the crash test dummy for America. And we've got to get ourselves to a place where, because weren't we just fighting for Palestine? And before that, weren't we fighting for Ukraine? And before that, weren't we fighting for Afghanistan? And now we're fighting for illegals? I'm trying to understand. And if you had an issue with ICE and Tom Homan, why didn't you have that issue when Obama was thanking him for the same damn job when he was getting even more people up out of here? So it's not the policy and it's not the party, it's the person. And they tell you to hate this one particular person, but ignore the 60 years of benign neglect they have done because we voted for them 90% of the time. And so for me, I got to a point as being an entrepreneur, no longer a worker. When you sign the front of the checks as opposed to the back of the checks, you start paying attention to where the money's going and how the money's flowing. And that was a wrap for me. So I'm conservative, not necessarily Republican, but I'm damn sure conservative.
All right now. All right. I appreciate that. Come on, JD. Tell them about yourself. We can't hear you. You muted.
No, my bad. You can hear me. Y'all can hear me.
Yeah, we hear
Yeah.
you now.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I'm JD Conservative. I'm also known as Show Love the Poet. I was known as Show Love the Poet first. My awakening with politics came about when I was in prison. I noticed that the freaking prisoner directors was a black man. The director of all the prisons down there was a black man, and we couldn't get this nigga to do nothing for us, bro. Yo, some of the sergeants was black, some of the captains was black, and I noticed that a lot. We had some white inmates, and then I noticed that anytime I wanted to buck the police because I was locked up down south, so I came from Baltimore, so my attitude was a little different. Not saying I'm better than nobody, just saying I was more radical. I'm the one that wanted to take the police. But every time I wanted to take the police, it was always white boys. The Aryan Brotherhood's like, yeah, Rowdy, let's go. How do I got the white boys riding with me first? So that's when I realized that somebody's been lying to me.
Yeah.
What's really going on? And we were all hoping for one thing. We need somebody to come and change this law. See, in North Carolina, they're under a structured sentence. Ever since Michael Jordan daddy had got murked, you know what I'm saying? Anybody that gets locked up has to do a mandatory minimum. So if I get 6 to 8 years, I cannot come home until I do 6. Man, we used to pray and hope for somebody to get in the office to change these laws. Because different people would say different things. So that's when people start paying attention. Well, who do we want in the office? A Democrat or Republican? They're like, I ain't gonna lie, but we need one of them racist Republicans. They want to save their money on the prisons. So this is how we start trying to figure out what's going on. And we could have been wrong. We may have been wrong. We was limited resources. We had the radio NPR, but we was trying to figure it out to the best of our abilities. We had the news. We asked questions. We asked each other questions. Sometimes your dudes even sacrifice their cell phones, pull it out just to call their baby mother and tell her Google something real quick. You feel me? Yeah. So that's where mine came from, and I had a passion for it then because it's like, yo, a lot of the average in the hood, we don't even vote. So they really be blaming us for the Democrats getting in. But I be wondering who y'all talking about. It's a 92% of the black people. No, 92% of the black voters. Because a lot of us, millions of us, have been anti-government our whole life. So I wasn't born Democrat. I was born anti-government. I was born in the hood. I was born in so it wasn't we have to vote blue. Only time I've heard something like that is when I was with my father. My father uppity, and they used to go to that church. So I heard church folks say that. You know what I'm saying? I hear HBCU dudes say that. But when I'm in the trenches, I don't hear nobody repping a political party. Everybody's like F that. You know what I'm saying? So when I was in prison, I caught a passion for it because I got to go back and teach my people in the hood because we being misrepresented. And we're being told that voting don't matter. We're being told that none of this matters for us. We wasting our time voting. They're going to choose the president anyway. They're going to choose the person to be in office. That thing got nothing to do with us. So
Right.
that's why I'm passionate about it, to teach my people in the trenches that it do matter. And that's why I get frustrated when everybody has certain type of content because it's like those are potential voters, idiot.
Yeah.
The midterms is coming up. The elections coming up. Trump will not be the president forever. And
Yeah.
we have millions of potential voters who've always been anti-government. So instead of having a black fatigue, I take myself back to my trenches and teach my people what's up so we can win again. Thank y'all.
I love that. Appreciate that. All right, Fool. Welcome. Welcome in. Welcome in. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the peoples. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't think. Do you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This is why yeah, I'm gonna remove you, Fool, and just come back in because you may not
I
be able
can't
to hear.
hear. I can't hear. I can't hear you.
That's why it may just be you. So you may need to come back in because everybody else can hear me.
What is going on, yo?
I'm not sure. Just yeah, come back in. I'll remove you and I'll just bring you back in, okay? No problem. This happened last week.
Man, I'm sitting here reading the comments, and you can tell by the comments that people
Mhm.
don't do their own research. They just
Nah.
regurgitate what they hear on CNN, MSNBC. Because somebody literally said, "Well, it's different because Obama, during Obama, they weren't kicking doors." I'm like, dude, they were CNN were doing ride-alongs with them while they were kicking indoors. What are
At
you
two
talking
Yep.
o'clock
about?
in the morning.
At 2 o'clock in
Yep.
the morning?
And you know
But
what else? What a
what,
lot of people, and this is what I have a lot of women who are on the liberal side who are team Obama listening. Do you understand how many women were actually raped in those facilities while Obama was in office?
Thousands.
Thousands. Do you know that they were being reported and they were being ignored?
Yes.
Yep,
Do you know how many babies? Do you know the whole babies in the cages that started under him?
He
yep.
built the
He built
cages.
them. He
He
built the
he built the
cages.
cages.
Do you know that one of the reasons why the whole deportation thing kind of went out of hand is because there were children that were coming over here from Guatemala without any parents?
Parents. Yep.
So this is why it's important. And this is coming from somebody that voted for him. I voted for him the first term. After that, he never got my vote again. I was out there in Atlanta
Mm.
watching black people suffer while Obama was in office. I was one of those people. It took me 6 months to find a job after I lost a job while Obama was in office. So it was not all peaches and rainbows and unicorns when he
Well,
was
it
in
was
office.
It was certainly rainbows.
It was definitely rainbows, but you know who definitely got everything that they needed? All of the other marginalized groups, the LGBTQ, they got their rights to marry and everything like that. And I have no problem with that. But me being that I'm from East Chicago, Indiana, as well as Gary, Indiana, I'm right near Chicago. I grew up around Hispanics. Hispanics were doing just damn fine.
Hmm.
They were doing just fine. And many of them had parents who probably came over here at one point who were undocumented. But you know what they did? They worked their asses off to support their families. They learned the language. They were speaking English. So even if they were illegal, at least they made time to speak the language. They made
Hmm.
time to learn it. The fact of the matter is, y'all be having that selective amnesia about certain shit that be going on when it comes to this administration. And that's why we got to break up out of it. And that's the whole point of the Realist Lounge, because a lot of y'all got to get snapped back into reality. Hello.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Fool, you back in here?
Can y'all hear me?
We
Yes.
We can
can
hear you.
hear you.
Jesus, I'm having major technical difficulties over here.
It's cool. Introduce yourself, bro.
What's up, everybody? I'm Fool. If y'all know me, Unplugged, Free Your Mind off of YouTube. Me and Jermaine, we co-host a podcast together. Um, I'm just a truth teller that keep getting my pages banned on TikTok, but it's starting to become fun. Why not? And it's a matter of meeting like-minded individuals. I can honestly say that this journey has allowed me to meet people that I know going to be in my life forever.
Yeah.
And people, independent thinkers. Jermaine has always heard me say this. I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care if you disagree with me. I want you to independently think. But we living in a time where as people literally.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
We living in a time where adults are regurgitating things they hear on TV. To me, that's sad.
Right.
I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm in the middle, and I'm going to vote based on the person, and I'm going to always vote based on policy. More
Amen.
importantly, I'm a firm believer of we got to get our own house in order. So it's about local politics. Most of the people that like to complain and bitch and moan and everything is about Trump, you can't even name your state representative. And I'm not talking about the congressman or senator, your state representative. You can't do that. You can't name a city council member, anything like that. So I can't take you seriously because guess what? Everything ain't Trump's fault. You can say it all you want, but it's not true. If you ain't going to a city council meeting, that's why your water bill going up. You're going to blame that on Trump too? So it's like, whatever. And for me, like I said, it's all about having common sense conversations. And if you can't have that, I'm good.
I know that's right. Amen.
Yeah.
Panamanian Ricky.
What's
Welcome,
going on?
brother. How
What's
you
up?
doing
What's up? What's
today?
up? I'm good.
Rick,
I'm
Rick.
good.
Let's go ahead. Go ahead
What's
and
up?
introduce yourself to the people.
Um, well, I'm Ricky, Panamanian Ricky. That's my handle. Um, I'm kind of like the same thing. I'm with food, man. I'm just a truth teller. I was a person who grew up in a blue city, Philadelphia. Um, and was indoctrinated with certain beliefs and ideas. And then over time, I overcame those beliefs. The belief that I was a victim and I'm oppressed and I'm supposed to vote Democrat no matter what. And then, I started paying attention. I always even when I was young, I paid attention to politics. And I always think about the fact that I remember being a little kid sitting in the kitchen with my grandma. I was watching this is when Clinton was running for president, and I found myself even as a kid. I don't know what's going on. I'm rooting for Clinton, and I don't know why. But the reason why is because I was, being inundated with this idea that I'm just a Democrat. Democrats are the good guys. Republicans are the bad guys. And I finally woke up from that, and then I was always shy, but somehow I broke out of that shell, and I just started talking on social media, and I started getting a response, you know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, I just like to tell the truth. You know what I mean? I feel like we as a people are kind of just fed a certain narrative all day, every day, all the time. And there's not enough of us who are willing to step out of that and tell the truth or say what we really think because of this fear of being labeled a sellout, a coon, or Uncle Tom. I got to the point where I didn't care and I just started talking. So like I'm kind of like in my baby stages where, but I want to podcast. I want to do as much as I can to kind of like spread this message, particularly to the young people, because that's where it starts. When I was young, as a very young kid, uh, I was poisoned with that messaging. You know what I'm saying? And it stagnated me. So that's kind of like one of my biggest things, man. I just want to get that message out to the people and kind of and touch the young people and let them know that it really comes down to your choices and decisions, and that's what's going to determine your outcomes at the end of the day. So yeah, that's me.
All right. Amen. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, gentlemen. Thank you all for showing up. So before we get all the way into politics, um, I do want to kind of dive into like what's like that one belief that you had in your early 20s that you completely changed your mind on. Like when it comes to and I like that you kind of touched on that, Dave, when you were
Mhm.
talking about like certain things that you were possibly taught coming up.
Yeah.
We've all heard them. We're not
Mhm.
a monolith, but it's just certain ways that we were brought up
Yeah.
that
Culturally.
like culturally we know what we're talking about. So I'm gonna start with you, Fu. Like, what is something in your 20s that made you be like, hold on, like, I don't know, like this might not just fit, this might not be for me, but it seems to be for everybody else around me. Like that made you change your mind and be like, nah, I kind of want to go somewhere different with.
I wasn't like that in my 20s because I was when it came to politics, the one thing that I was into, I used to watch Real Time with Bill Maher.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew a lot of the politicians that were out there, but I wasn't really following it like that. But then one of my classes in college is when I really started. I think it was 2000, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost certain it was 2000. So I would say this was us growing up. I'm pretty sure everybody in this panel was the same way. Republicans were white and racist. That was just it. They were
Yeah.
just white and racist. That was pretty much it. I didn't hate white people because I started caddying at 16. But as I started to get older, I was like, wait a minute. You could be a Democrat and be racist. That don't mean it is what it is. And then I just started paying attention. And it hit me 2 elections ago. I didn't vote. I voted for Bernie twice. Then I voted for Trump because I
Yeah.
was like, I was good. But then this past election, everything was on Front Street.
Whose dog is angry?
I got a little mini poodle that thinks he's a Doberman Pinscher. He identifies as a terrorist watchdog. Must be some. It must be some tree hugging liberals trying to get people to have abortions outside of my house. I apologize.
Oh no.
Mario, calm down.
They trying to kiss your dog. You better get him. You better get him.
Can I touch that dog? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? No, man.
That is so strange. You know, it's so crazy that you said that. In this quick story time, even in my 40s, I can honestly say, and I live in a red state, been living in liberal cities my entire life, born in Gary, Indiana. Okay. Even as that, I've never experienced racism, like in a sense to where somebody say, you nigger, bitch. Like, I've never dealt with that. I didn't really experience like real life racism, honestly, until I moved to Atlanta. And what's crazy is that like it wasn't even from the Southerners. Like white folks, like people think that if you've never been to the South living in the North, I'm telling you, it's nowhere near what you think it is. It's not Mississippi burning. Like you're not gonna go down there and just see a Klan rally just marching up the street. Like you're not gonna go down. Like honestly, I probably had better experiences down there when it comes to like a diverse group of people. My first experience with racism was from a white liberal older woman from Massachusetts who voted for Obama. And that was like my first time ever really experiencing like, oh my God, this is like really some racist shit. So I think that people have it in their mind that they automatically assume that Republicans are just this racist people. And then when you go to the South, you're just going to deal with so much racism. So that was something that kind of was like a switch for me, in realizing that like it has nothing to do with really political parties. It has everything to do with an upbringing, it has everything to do with who a person is and what their characteristics is. But I think that Democrats are really good with hiding their racism. Like they are the authors of covert racism. And living in a liberal city like Indianapolis, I'm going to tell you that right now, you can see it. You can see it with how they're out here protesting for a woman who put herself in a situation in Minnesota harder than for the black bodies that are dropping on a regular basis, harder for the babies that are being left with these mothers who are literally unaliving them, harder for the black baby that they just pulled out of the White River a couple of days ago and nobody knows what happened. So I just think that like the same type of people that's literally in my comments right here, which are probably bots, it really don't matter. I need you all to understand that like you guys are great at hiding your racism. One thing I could respect about a white Republican who may be racist, they're going to let you know that they don't like you. They're going to tell you. They're not going to hide it. Y'all just good at hiding your racism. I'd rather know who my enemy is than who my enemy isn't. Hello? Straight up. So let's go ahead to, we're going to go to JD Conservative. Go ahead and tell us about that moment in your life where you started questioning the narrative that you were possibly taught.
Yeah, like I explained earlier, that really just happened in prison. You know what I'm saying? I just realized that the whole thing with like you said, the racist South and whatnot. Man, I went down south on my own, Baltimore. I went down there for trouble. I ain't even go down there on no good time. And the crazy thing about it is everybody was nice and welcoming. You know what I'm saying? White people had opportunities for me. You know, they liked me. I had this one white dude I was dealing with. He was trying to give me a job with him. You know what I'm saying? Making
Yeah.
25 an hour, and that was back in 2016. So I, for me, I've come to the realization that it don't really matter about somebody being racist, yo, because whatever the prejudice is in your heart doesn't necessarily bother me, right? I just want to know if you can get the job done. And like I said before, just being in prison, I was able to get racist. Well, I guess you want to call them racist white boys, the Aryan Brotherhood. Man, they was rocking with me. I was rocking with them. I was sleeping next to a white boy named Troy. Troy was the leader of the he ran them ones on at Harnett Correctional Institution. And man, yo got cool. And I literally was about to get jumped by some Migos, right? But it was just these. Not I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying all Latinos. It was a certain group in particular, and they about to jump me one time in the chow hall. And Troy and them boys came out of nowhere, had my back, and then we linked up. No cap. When that went down, I went holler at Corleone, told Corleone everything that happened. Man, it was so many black people on the yard, bro. And the gangs didn't matter. Folks, Crips, Bloods, everybody came together. Because I almost got jumped by them. They're like, hell no, they ain't gonna let them push the issue on black people for no reason. And Troy and his crew came out there too. I seen Troy and Corleone dap each other up. And it was black and white people. And we went to go approach the Migos at the volleyball, at the volleyball court. And saw Superintendent Pike shut the whole yard down. They sent them police the correctional officers out there with the tactical gear, and they shut the yard down. They put fences up around the yard. Like Harnett Correctional Institution is real big, and they used to let us walk the yard all day, free, even nighttime. Man, after that, after black and white people came together, man, they shut that shit down. Until this day, it's still gates at Harnett Correctional, so it's no more free roaming. That free roaming is over with now. We stopped that. I was there for that. I was in the middle of that, and that's what let me know that if we come together, if we put our differences aside for a second, you know what I'm saying? All right, you white, you want to be with your white family, you don't want to see niggas too much. I respect. Y'all stay over there, then. You know what I mean? It's no issue. But when we have an issue in our country, when we have an issue with our government, when our borders is open, right? When we got a government trying to change the sex of our children, right? When we got people trying to deny Christians from being able to pray outside of abortion clinics, right? Then we need to come together for a second.
Mm.
We need to know how to put our differences to the side for a second. And that's what I seen happen in prison. So if I seen it happen in prison amongst a bunch of inmates, then I know for a fact it can happen out here in this world. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? You can have your prejudice all you want to, but we're all from this country. This is our country, and we all been paying taxes to this government. And
yeah.
while we continue to pay taxes, our tax money ain't got no skin tone on it.
Yeah.
Our tax money ain't got no goddamn geographical location on it. So since we all pay taxes here and we all from here, I love it that we could put our differences to the side just for a second. Get our
Mhm.
country back in order, put our government back in its proper place. Because as a conservative, we want a smaller government that we the people control, right? That's why I get frustrated with this loyalty to the Democratic Party, this loyalty to the Republican Party. No, I'm a conservative. They supposed to work for us.
Amen.
Republican and Democrat, when they go at each other, they're supposed to impress me. Choose us this time. No, choose us this time. I will never be a part of either you. You do your job. And if
Hmm.
you don't do your job right, then you're fired. So I think we need to get our government back to that.
Yeah.
They asked, well, when was America ever great? I'm gonna tell you, America was great before forced integration. I land there.
All right now. I know that's right. Oh, okay. I like what you were saying there, sir. I like what you were saying there, sir. All right, political agitator.
Yes.
So, when was what about you? Like, when in your 20s did you, or in your younger days, where you was just like, you know what, like, I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna think differently. Like, what's being imposed on me or what's being told about my culture, about who I am, that doesn't fit where I'm trying to go in life. Like where did you have this conservative mindset, and like tell us about
Yeah. I can definitely tell you it wasn't in my 20s. In my 20s, I was still well plugged in, being indoctrinated by all kind of bullshit. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't into my early 30s to mid 30s where I began to understand that they have they have done a good job of using racism and using classism but masking it as racism, because this for me is all about classism. You can say you have these arguments, red, blue, and all this stuff. It comes down to rich and poor, and they have done a good job of making the poor whites think they're better than the poor blacks. You're just poor. It don't matter. All this color shit is all a construct. And that's when I just started realizing that all this stuff is constructs built to divide us. It's all kind of constructs built to divide us. You got religion that divides us, politics that divides us. You got wealth that divides us. You got all these dividers, and they do a good job of pushing that shit and making sure that we are all divided on some issue. Because you can talk to somebody about politics, about religion, and I guarantee you, if they're on the other side of what you're saying, it's going to be a knockdown drag out. And
Fact.
we've all been a part of them.
Uh,
And I'm just not participating in that shit anymore.
Dave, what about you? I know you got one.
All right, so full disclosure, I campaigned for Obama in '08. You know what I mean? Put him on nationally syndicated radio shows, made sure he had all the black prep, you know. And my main thing is with all of these politicians, it's a bunch of BS. But here's the thing that really
I
pisses
can't
me
hear him.
off. Can everybody else hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. All right. So one of the things that I think people don't understand is it's real easy to fool the majority of Americans because the majority of Americans respectfully are stupid. Here's what I mean. Do you know what Hillary Clinton's slogan was in 2016? It was Make America Great Again. Do you know what Bill
Mm.
Clinton's slogan was in 1992? It was Make America Great Again. Ronald Reagan ran on it in 1980. But now you got an issue. When you start to realize that the propaganda machine is the only thing that the Democrats do well, and you start to really run numbers and look at where your tax dollars are going and where they're not going, because listen, I've lived in 34 cities in 19 states, including Atlanta, Nashville, Clarksville, Winter Haven, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Miami, Florida, North and South Carolina. Like, the thing that I've realized absolutely everywhere I go is wherever there's a hood, it's usually us. And they all tore up, but the people in the hood is paying taxes. So where's the money going? But we got time for illegals. They got time to create some mulatto, half tether, wannabe Black Panther who's now calling himself the Black Lion Gang. Why don't y'all just call yourselves the Paw Patrol? Because y'all ain't patrolling a damn thing. I'm in Philly, and ain't nobody seeing y'all nowhere, right? 12.5 million. Do you know what 12.5 million is, Shannon?
Nah, yo,
That
talk that shit. He said call him Paw Control. Talk that shit.
That's what they are. They're the Paw Patrol. 12.5 million is the number of deportations under Bill Clinton.
Yep.
Bill
10 point
Clinton?
Bill Clinton,
Yes.
12.5 million deportations.
Whoa.
Yes.
Zero. The number of riots, the number of shucking and jiving, protesting Black preachers talking about we needs to get Clinton out because Clinton is doing racist by getting rid of the illegals. Let me keep going. 10.3 million. That's the number of deportations under George W. Bush. Zero protests. Zero mega preachers. Wasn't no Eddie Long. Wasn't no Jamal Bryant. Wasn't no T.D. Jakes. Wasn't Kirk Franklin and the family. None of them talking
He
about
cooking.
how bad it was, right?
Man.
5.2 million. That's the number of
Obama.
deportations under Obama. Zero protests. Because Obama, the worst thing Obama did in office was wear a tan suit at the press corps.
And them dad jeans.
That's it. Them dad jeans was horrible.
They was terrible.
And then when he danced on the Ellen show, that was horrible. But when it comes to policy, every last one of them did the same thing and did it worse than the 1.5 million that Trump did. However, there have been 356 separate protest behind what Donald Trump did. Now, there's a lot of stuff Donald Trump does that I don't like. There's a lot of things that he says that I think are a little bit much, but some of the things that he said was on point.
Yeah.
I'm almost there, so I need y'all to just stay with me for a minute.
We here.
When Donald Trump said in 2024, they're going to come in and they're going to take all the black jobs. Well, you have Michelle Obama say, well, what if president is one of those black jobs? And what is a black job? You know, good and hell well, there's a bunch of us who are low-skilled labor. And ain't nothing wrong with it. My grandfather put 7 kids through college with low-skilled labor. We got to stop acting like that's a bad thing. But what happens is they are creating a replacement class by getting them high on the drug of the government supporting them, the same way they got our women 60 years ago high on the drug of supporting them and being daddy government. So instead of daddy government, it's papi government chulo. So until such time as somebody from a numbers perspective can show me how it was okay when Clinton did it, when Bush did it, and when Obama did it, but now y'all got an issue because Trump did it. But none of you are signing up. And I want you spear chucking jigaboo liberals to hear me. None of you are signing up to take in any of these illegals at your house. None of these politicians that you love so much are talking about they need gun control because they got the AR-15s that they're trying to ban protecting them. And they all sit behind locked doors, locked gates, and armed guards. But you continue to struggle and keep fighting over which master you want to serve. My whole thing is I want the government to get out of my way so that I can continue to employ people. That's it, and that's all. Somebody tell me where I'm lying. I'll wait for the fact check.
Not Noel.
Hey Dave. Hey Dave, I want you to ask people this, because this is what I asked them. What would you have ICE do? All the people that's against what they do, what would you have them do?
They don't even know. So they didn't get that far. They didn't tell them nothing.
Right. So when I asked them that, well, they can do it a little different. How? Give me an example. See, they never have answers for those questions. It's always, oh, is wrong, you know. But like we said earlier, you didn't see this, you didn't hear this stuff when they were doing ride-alongs at 2 a.m. and busting in people's doors and stuff like that. Because right now we're in the age of transparency, as far as we have the media, you got social media, you got everybody with these phones. You didn't have all that shit back then. So that's why y'all people don't know about that shit.
Shannon, I want to let you know, I didn't hear one word that Dave said. Not one.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you got going on.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I heard everything. Everybody hearing it.
We heard everything, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, probably. He might have to go out. He might have to go out.
Yeah, you might have to go out and come back in. I gotta let Ricky talk. Ricky, what about you, bro? Like, when in your life did you was like, you know, like this ain't for me. This stereotype that they're putting on me, it's not for me. I'm gonna go a different direction. You seem I follow you, so I know you're a family man. You got a beautiful wife, you got children, you got a business. So yeah, like tell us about it.
So it definitely it wasn't in my 20s.
I don't think it was in none of our 20s, because I'm gonna tell you, I know I was a wild.
What was in my 20s? And I was 23.
He in Philly, so he already know. I'm born and raised in Philadelphia, so you already know it's a Democrat stronghold. And my main man, he from Baltimore, so I know he know what I'm talking about too. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's just like that. I grew up just believing that the Democrats was the good guys, and I grew up, you know, being inundated with this idea that I was a victim, that I'm so oppressed. And I always say, like, this is the thing for me. I probably like, you know, some years ago, I audited myself. And what I realized was that the condition that I was in, it didn't have anything to do with who was in office or Democrats or any of that. Just had to do with me. It had to do with the choices that I made, decisions that I made. And so those were the things that I had to change. And you know, like the kind of the narrative is always blame white people. The white man is holding you down. And what occurred to me was, at least in my opinion, was that the so-called pro-black is the one that was kind of holding me down, because from the time I was able to read and write, I was being told that I was a victim, and that the white man is keeping me down. And it's hard, so hard for you because you were black. And what I realized is that when you tell a young person that well, the system is set up for you to fail. Essentially what you're telling them is, well, you might as well not even try. It's set up for you to fail anyway, so why are you even trying? When you keep telling somebody that blame the white man, blame white people, blame this, blame that, you don't really gain any real concept of self accountability. It's just you just learn how to deflect and put your situation on everybody else. So I grew up believing that, well, my community is this way because of whatever, because of white people, it's because of the white man, it's because the government, and I mean we could say the government, but I kind of snapped out of it at some point, and I realized that wait, all everybody I know who in jail, not that's not to say that they're not innocent people in prison, but the ones that I know, all the ones that I know, they there because they did something. All of us who grew up, in fatherless homes, um, for the most part, our fathers made choices, and I just started to really resent and reject just that whole idea of everything that's involved with us. We never look inward. We always blame someone else. And I kind of felt like that's kind of the problem here, is that
Yeah.
we not only do we can't fix problems, because the only thing we know how to do is point the finger and say this is someone else's fault. And then on top of that, it's kind of like it's almost blasphemous for us to hold ourselves accountable for it. So we all
Mm.
black conservatives here. So when the black conservative says, "Hey, part of our problem is that our fathers are not in the home," the reaction is not to say, "Well, let me think about that. Maybe you're right." The reaction is, "You a sellout. You a coon. You a Uncle Tom." You know what I'm saying? If a white person say it, they are racist. Nobody can tell us the truth. Is always, if you're not telling us that our problem is somebody else's fault, then it's like you the devil. You know what I mean? Blame Trump for everything, blame Republicans for everything, and everything that the Democrats do is I guess it's for our benefit. So that was kind of like what kind of woke me up, is when I started looking around and I'm saying, like, even now, you fast forward to today, they are trying to bait us right now. They're trying to bait us and coerce us into fighting for our replacement,
Oh yeah.
but but we can't see it because there's no fault with the Democrats. It's like everything the Democrats do is good, and if the Republicans do it is bad. I mean, he just pointed out Clinton, Bush, they all were deporting people by the millions. But when
Millions.
Trump do it, we supposed to get out in the street and fight federal agents and put ourselves in jeopardy. And I'm gonna land by saying this. This is my opinion. I really believe, because I even the sheriff here, when I saw people reposting that sheriff woman here in Philly saying ICE don't want smoke, and to me it was embarrassing. Her, like, I'm like, you a rapper? You talking about ICE don't want smoke? The sheriff department is not going to do anything if ICE came to the city. They're not going to do anything. But just the way that she was talking, and she was saying that she was calling ICE fake law enforcement. That's what a lot of them been doing. I feel like they kind of lining us up and trying to get us to go out there and
Yes.
confront federal agents, because they
Yes.
want to. I feel like they want to sacrifice. They want to catch a body. Because soon as one of us get killed by ICE, all hell gonna break loose. Then it's gonna be all about racism. It's gonna be all about, if you support ICE, then you're racist. ICE is against black people. When we really should be just sitting back and minding our business and letting them do their job. Instead, they want us to get out in the streets and fight for the people who they brought in to replace us. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
and
kind of
they
like my
they
thing.
they really, and it's so crazy because I'm like, how do like
Y'all
people
can't
not
be heard.
noticing that they're using so many different tactics to like pull at us? Like
Hmm.
they're they're using they're using African drums. I don't know if you
Hmm.
all saw that. They used
I saw it.
African drums. They tried the Black Panther Party. If
Mm-hmm.
you're a spiritual person as opposed to a religious person, they used a white conservative woman to say that white MAGA women are practicing hoodoo.
Mm-hmm.
Which yeah, they went crazy on that one. They still talking about that one. I had to let a couple people know. And now they're just constantly using all of these different tools in order to pull at you. BLM is involved now. Of course, they're gonna find their way to get in the middle of it. But this is something that I'm noticing. I'm not hearing anything from the National Black Caucus, not hearing anything from the NAACP. So we're going to go ahead and go to accountability and without chaos, because see, accountability is something that I'm noticing we're not putting on the people that's supposed to be standing for our community. See, we could talk
Mm-hmm.
all day long about what white people have done to black community, to the black people, but we're not talking about these entrepreneur Negroes that supposedly are put in place to represent us. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start with you, fool. Do
Hey, Pretty, can I just say
organization.
something real quick though?
Sure,
To
go
add to that
ahead.
last thing you said,
Go
I
ahead.
think that that's one of the most nefarious things that they're doing. If you watch them and you listen to them, because I argued with a grown man 2 days ago who was convinced that ICE. I said, bro, ICE is the police. They not cops. They not really. This man was a 40-something-year-old man who was convinced that federal law enforcement agents are not really police, and it's because of the rhetoric. Because they keep reinforcing this idea. Like I said, they making people believe that ICE are like security guards or something, and that's their way of trying to embolden people to go out and get in the street and confront these people.
I feel that.
So
That's
I
the
don't know.
truth. That's the truth, man. It's just like what I'm seeing here, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to food. So, do organizations like the NAACP, the National Black Caucus, and just legacy Black leadership still represent the Black community, even Black men today? Like, and if so, why? If not, why? Foo, foo.
I think he's frozen.
He frozen. I'm gonna go ahead,
Yeah,
political agitator.
I would say to that they never represented us. They were there to hold the line to
Mm.
make sure that we didn't get access to the things that we needed. They were like you'll see a lot. So we've had 10,000 plus elected black officials. Where have we moved in regards to the racial wealth gap? Where have we moved in housing? Where have we moved in any economic place in the United States with all that representation? What have we done? So that's the thing I ask a lot of my Democrat and liberal people. Like they'll say, well, what the Republicans going to do for us? Well, guess what? We don't vote for the Republicans. We vote 90% Democrat. So is about, if you give me something, I give you something. That's how the political system works. We have not given them our vote to do anything. So why are they beholden to us? But we've given 90% of our vote to Democrats. And where have we in 60 plus years, where have we moved forward economically as a group? Now we have sprinkles of people who have economic success and stuff like that. But what are they doing for the black community? Nothing.
Yeah, everybody say the Black Caucus has been hijacked by tethers. Trust me, we're gonna get off into the tether conversation soon. Um, Dave, what you think?
Okay, so you said the NAACP, which never had a black president until my mother was pregnant with me. No, the only thing the NAACP does is the image awards, and okay. Um, The Congressional Black Caucus, you mean the Congressional Black Caucus, when you look at their website and you look at their mission statement, they say that they're there to secure America's promise for African Americans and marginalized people all throughout the world. The Congressional Asian Caucus don't say that. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus don't say that. So why is it everybody else is focusing on their people and we got to focus on everybody else? To the points of the people in the comments, it's because it's always been very tethery and it's always pay for play. And Maxine Waters, Ain't done nothing for the people in Compton, ain't done nothing for all them homeless black folks all running through LA, but she got on a private plane to go help some illegals burn American flags and lift up Mexican flags. I'm good on these so-called organizations that haven't done anything for us. Them, the black church, who else? 9 times out of 10, your mayor, your alderman, your dog catcher, ain't none of them making no moves, and it's all black people's fault. And I'm going to tell you why. Black people have been fed a steady diet of vote blue no matter who, and then your whole situation, your whole obligation and responsibility starts and ends at the voting booth. It does not start how it's supposed to. You're supposed to go out here and vote, yes, but you're also supposed to ask for something. You're supposed to have an agenda, and then you are supposed to not only vote, but put your money behind candidates. Everybody understands that America's for sale, and people say, well, that is not how the system works. Dummy, explain lobbies. Everybody else is getting what they want. The gays got what they wanted. And Obama, when he was running in 08, I know you guys forget, I don't rewrite history, I recite history. Obama said in 2008, marriage is between a man and a woman. By the time he was out, they was calling him the first gay president.
Facts.
The illegals got a whole bunch of different, path to citizenships. They started calling them dreamers, and homeless people went from being homeless to being unhoused. They still out on the streets. We used to call them bums when I was a kid, but everybody who cut the check, backed up the Brinks truck, and voted got something. You know what we got? Hope changed, and when Trayvon Martin got killed, he looked at the camera and said, could have been my son, and then walked his black ass back in that White House. So if you're looking for an organization to come save you, you better start it. You better come with some money. You better come with a real black agenda, whether it's mine or somebody else's, and start making some serious moves. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm going to ask you about that book. We need you. Yeah. Okay. Fool, what about you? What you think? Like, Fool.
Who over there checking the lottery numbers? You can't hear.
I can't hear Shannon. I can hear everybody else except her. I can't hear the host.
She wants your opinion, bro.
Oh, I gotta hear. I never heard the question. You gotta give me the question
about the organizations like the NAACP, the Congressional Black Caucus, what they're doing for black people.
Okay, as far as the Congressional Black Caucus, I'll ask a major question. Are there any Republicans involved in it?
No. Not a one.
And that's the whole thing. People always want to say, what has the Republican Party done for you or whatever? If they're not even, if these organizations aren't being inclusive, then what are they supposed to do? Because they're not even on it like that. And these organizations, they aren't doing anything. To me, they're probably pissed off right now because they're cracking down on all these NGOs. They was getting a piece too. I just saw something recently with April Chapman and that black dude, I forgot his name. And he was saying, yes, that was an amazing interview because he pretty much broke it down how they're drawing these districts in these areas so that they never get primary, meaning they're in with the powers that be. They don't care about the poor at all. I've been saying this for a while. They always talk about the middle class. What middle class? There's working class, there's working poor, and there's poor. And there aren't any organizations that's out there for them. And people don't see that shit, but they will praise and claim the Democratic Party and all that they do. ACLU, stop it. The small hats fuck with them. Congressional Black Caucus, small hats fuck with them. It's a never-ending cycle. And unfortunately, people who Gen Xers are talking like they are boomers. Y'all wasn't out there getting hoes. Stop it. All those organizations that y'all like to praise, they did something back then. They ain't did shit for us because they don't give a fuck about us. Everything boils down to the bottom dollar. It's a caste system. It's always been a caste system. Have and have nots. And they condition us not to trust each other, so we don't build together anymore. I'm thankful to meet somebody like Dave, who actually called me after I sent him his number, and we can actually build together. Nobody want to trust it. We can't trust them because they agents. All of them are agents. The Black Panther Party with a failed rapper who like to touch kids and people following him. What the fuck kind of Twilight Zone are we in? This doesn't make any sense, yo.
But
I need
bro,
people to grow the fuck up.
hey, bro, real quick. What's so crazy is that like they so slow. Like, do you all know that like the guy who invented Kwanzaa, like kidnapped a chick and held her? He kidnapped a couple of chicks, and y'all still want to. This how you know that they be like doing some sprinkling on their head. The dude kidnapped a woman. The man
sprinkling.
they sprinkling some stuff. He kidnapped a woman, the guy who created Kwanzaa, and then came back and created Kwanzaa, and y'all still want to celebrate Kwanzaa. So that's how you know that like a lot of us ain't really wrapped too tight, and we just be kind of going along with everything. Y'all need to really start researching shit before y'all just be joining stuff. Because y'all be the first ones to call MAGA a whole little cult, but y'all be doing the most cultish shit. I don't be understanding it. Who celebrates Kwanzaa? You'll be surprised. People were still celebrating Kwanzaa. And we're still celebrating it this year. Go ahead, JD.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite topics. I'm about and you know what, y'all? It's YouTube, so I feel like I can say what I need to say.
Careful
But
though. Don't say
of course,
everything.
I mean, well, shit. That never mind. My bad. I
No,
apologize.
go
I was
ahead
on
and
mute.
just say what you gotta say.
Let me say what I got to say, cause shit, man, it's gonna go down now.
Well, you better
Those
say it
black
with
organizations are black devils.
say it with your
Those
chest.
black organizations are black devils, bro. They have never been for us. Now we got now I know what y'all might be thinking. I'm tripping. W.E.B. Du Bois is a black devil. All right. And you know you guys are under a spell because, like she said, you will call MAGA a cult as if the Divine Nine is not a real live cult.
Mm, mm,
Now,
mm.
listen. I'm not saying that everybody in Divine Nine is a bad person, but it is a cult. By definition, it's literally a cult. All right? The Boulay family is literally a cult. All right? I rock with Madame Blavatsky, so I know. I don't rock with that, but I follow women, low key. See? That's why I'm so masculine, because I follow the woman. So you are already in a cult, and you're trying to tell us that we're a cult. Fine, you can say that, but your cult, NAACP, was started by the small hats. The same small hats who own slave ships. The same small hats that did everything they can do to reclassify you. Now, when we say Indian, y'all go crazy as if Noble Drew Ali wasn't out here as a Cherokee Indian with the feds telling you, don't let them call you black. Don't let them call you Negro. 1914, 1913, 1920. So there's nothing new with us. We've been fighting against them. We've been had an enemy. You had the Marcus Garvey versus W.E.B. Du Bois, but then we forget that you had Noble Drew Ali saying, no, both these motherfuckers tripping. Then you had Booker T. Washington on the other side saying, yeah, they definitely tripping. We from here. We're not going to let them reclassify us. They wipe them names out of our stories. They stopped telling you about Benjamin Banneker because Benjamin Banneker started debunking a lot of other things.
Crispus Atticus too.
Come on now. Crispus Atticus, Benjamin Banneker, Baltimore. You heard me. Made the map. Shows and prove that black people had status over here during slavery. Shows and prove that. So this is why they're taking all that stuff away from you. Because they don't want you to know who you are. They're the cult.
Yeah.
No one came and it wasn't just a bunch of white people that just took over us. No, we had people that literally traded on us. You had people that literally took off their feathers, accepted the people that came from Siberia, taught them how to dance, taught them our ways, and they left them on reservations and dipped off. And they formed themselves right along with the rest of those Democrats. Now they got the NAACP. We're African. Back to Africa. You had your Marcus Garvey. We're going to Africa. Yo, it's a cult. It's a spell that they've been putting on us. And that's the truth about it. They've never done anything for us. Over 100 years the NAACP been around. So let me tell you about 501c3s real quick. I'm going to leave this alone. Let me tell you about nonprofits. These people have touched enough money to make sure everybody in the hood got a check. Why they ain't do that? These people have touched enough money with their 501c3 that they could have made sure everybody in the hood rent got paid. Why they never did that? They never looked out for them. They never gave the money back. They keep stealing from us. You keep donating to them, and legally they can take 90% of what you gave them, and they don't even give the 10% back. They find a way to scam you out of that too. I'll land my plane. Thank you.
Not on my watch. They ain't gonna do that shit no more. We gotta get it going. Yes, I love this conversation. I love it. I love it. I don't know, Panama and Enrique, what you think?
Um, I mean, I look at the NAACP. Uh, I mean, Congressional Black Caucus. They really they really they're Democrat organizations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when it comes down to it, like I mean that's kind of like I mean, that's kind of just like the way I see it. You know, that's one of the things that bothers me the most. You know, is that a lot of these, really all of them. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's some out there. I don't know, but a
It
lot
ain't
of
none. Not on this
the
side.
well right. So the black organizations, they really just Democrat
Hey, hold
organizations,
on. Let
man.
me pause this real quick. Hey, yo, like,
Go ahead.
I don't know who this Soul Brother 1780 is. I can't block him. Can somebody find out where he's attached to one of y'all? Block this fool, please.
Oh, he's gone.
Thank you. Go ahead, Panama and Enrique. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's pretty much, like the basics. I mean, we all know that. It's like they just Democrat organizations, which is one of the reasons why, I just stopped having any type of faith or belief in any of these organizations because to me, it seems like they're really they're like whether you're talking about NAACP, Congressional Black Caucus, you talking about Black Lives Matter, they're really white liberal organizations. And what they do is they use black people as a vehicle to push their agenda. That's kind of like, the simplest way I could put it. Is like at the end of the day, the things that will benefit black people, the things that need to be addressed, the real issues, they all seem to kind of just stay away from the real issues and kind of focus on the talking points and the narratives and the things that will get you emotional and angry and you know keep you voting the same way, like like the NAACP is an arm of the Democrat Party. Essentially they're not here to do anything for black people. They're there to keep that same narrative of victimhood and oppression going, so you can keep voting the same way. I think they whatever what if they have something every year or whatever where they invite the president, and then because Trump was president, they like this is a story tradition that been going on forever. And then I think Trump, they didn't invite Trump because he was president. And it's like, if you're an organization that's for the betterment of black people, regardless of who the president is, right? You're gonna go sit down and try to figure out what you can get. And I think, that's one of the things that Dave talked about. It's like how are you interested in the betterment of black people when you're not interested in dealing with anybody but Democrats? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of just like, to me, all these organizations are controlled by white liberals, and they just use us to push whatever shit that the white liberals are pushing at the time. Because like it's kind of like, I don't really understand. I say this all the time, and I'm going to keep saying it. Like when it comes to certain issues, the fact that all of these black men who have voices, you know what I'm saying? And I look at some of these issues and I'm saying, damn, none of y'all, I know y'all Democrats, okay? I know y'all are liberals, okay, cool. But not one of y'all, it's not one of y'all that's willing to open your mouth and say, yo, this is kind of crazy, right? We want to do, especially when it comes to the kids. Wait, we want to do what? The kids? We want to allow kids to do what? Not one of y'all, not none of these organizations, not none of these pro-blacks, none of y'all have nothing to say. So that tells me everything I need to know. Is like, whatever the white liberal agenda is, that's what y'all for. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just, you just put black people as the face of it to, use us as a vehicle. That's all. We just a vehicle, man, at the end of the day. So that's kind
Oh,
of like my thoughts.
I dig that. So we're gonna shift the conversation a little bit from just politics. Now I
Mhm.
want to talk about identity. I'm quite sure that everybody sees what's going on online right now. I just spoke to the at the beginning of this live. I spoke to Dave about his conversation with an African gentleman on a podcast.
Mhm.
Now let's talk about the FBA movement and the
Mhm.
Black identity. Right now, a lot of people are unaware. Uh, the Black identity right now is like major. It's going viral. So many people are finding out about their lineage, about that everybody is not descendants of slave masters. Everybody did not come over here on a boat. You got Tariq Nasheed just slam dunking on foreigners all in his lives, and everybody is on this FBA movement. So do you all think, and I'm gonna start with you, Dave,
Mhm.
do you believe that FBA has helped clarify the Black American identity, or has it created more division than unity?
So first of all, let me reverse engineer your question for a minute. Show me where unity is. Period. Point blank. So if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about all of it, right? I feel like I should. If I'm going to tell it, then I never mind. So what I find interesting is that there are 54 countries on the continent of Africa, and ain't none of them unified,
Mm.
right? Last I checked, the Haitians ain't really messing with the Dominicans like that, so there's no unity there. Jamaicans and Trinidadians, I mean, no beef, but they ain't really rocking with each other. Whenever it's time for one of them to win an award, respectfully, they make sure that they have delineation on their side. The other part of that is when you look in their social media profiles, you'll see their little flags, although they're all over here
Mm.
telling us how we're lazy and we're this and we're that. So my issue is if you're so great, and let's keep it a buck. The one thing the president did say that I did agree with was that a lot of these places are shithole countries. So if you were so dope, if you were so educated, and let's face it, you are the best of the worst. That's why you're here. That's why y'all got together in your village and y'all put y'all monies up. Y'all done sold all the coconuts you could sold. Y'all done weaved all the bamboo moccasins y'all could come up with, and y'all got your asses on the banana boat and y'all came over here. So you're the best of the worst. And if you were that talented, why is it you can't fix your countries? Why Haiti look like a shit show nobody want to be at? Liberia, because that was the whole thing. Let's go back to Africa. Liberia is full of civil war right now. So me being who I am, because I've read books like They Came Before Columbus by Ivan Van Sertima. I have read books like Before the Mayflower by Leroy Bennett Jr. I understand that if you look, because this is the one thing all the tethers love to say, well, we all came here on the same slave ship. No, you don't. Stop. Less than 3% of the transatlantic slave people who were enslaved came to the shores of what we call the United States. Less than 3%. The rest of us were already here. And the ones who weren't here were a product of mass breeding. So now you got all that out of the way. For me to say that I am a foundational Black American is not divisive. It just gets you out of my line when it comes for things that are supposed to be for us, like reparations, 40 acres and a mule, and any benefits that we need to get in this country that we bled and died for. Foundational Black Americans are the only people who have fought in every single war this country has, and as many faults as America has, and trust me, there's plenty. I'm a kid from the hood in Philadelphia who went to the worst high school in America, Martin Luther King High School, if you don't know. I will tell you that I got a lot of issues with America, but I don't need your tether asses coming over here telling us what we need to fix when you can't and get your asses to a place where you can fix what's going on in your homeland. Y'all don't want to be here. If y'all got it so figured out, why can't you take that same model and do it in your homeland? You don't want to. There's a reason. I don't like stereotypes, but stereotypes have a lot of truth in them. That's
Yeah.
why you hear things about Nigerian scammers. That's why when you saw the tape, and I don't know if y'all saw the tape, but I saw the tape of the lady sitting in the daggone driveway with the cat going like this. And when Trump said, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats,
I remember.
everybody got mad. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
stop playing in my
But
face.
that's a
It's
whole
making things.
Haitian cuisine.
I did not
You
say
are.
that,
I did
but
not
he's not
say
wrong.
that.
No, I'm saying it literally is. I'm not trying to be funny. On like
Yeah,
I
I
got
got
Haitian
homeboys who are
friends.
Haitian. Yeah,
They'll tell you that cat is literally a cuisine there.
Hey, look here, man. I got 2 cats. I'm trying to forget the image of her killing the baby.
well, don't order
Yeah, she,
Chinese food and you'll be all right.
I don't eat
hey,
that shit.
bro, she bit the cat. She didn't even skin it first.
First of all,
She just grabbed that
and you
motherfucker
know
and
what's
bit
so
it.
crazy? This is why we are, and this is another thing, black people. Listen to me, okay? Y'all don't never ever think about the fact that Chinese restaurants don't never got no commercials. They don't never have commercials.
Ain't never seen one in 50 years.
Ain't never see. Y'all got the chicken don't never have a bone. That little the orange chicken ain't never got no bone. Y'all better be careful with eating that. Now, if it's a place like one of those major premium cuisine places,
Like Panda Express.
hell
That's
no.
fast food. She's
I don't
talking
want no
like
fast food. I'm talking about a place like that I could sit down and you know what I mean. They bring me my dish.
PF Chang's.
Yeah, PF Chang's is even a chain. I don't want no
that's a
chain.
chain. She's
Nah,
saying a high-end Chinese
a
restaurant where you
high
can
end
sit down,
Chinese
like
place.
Mr. Chow's or something like that.
Yes, that's totally different. But I'm telling y'all, be careful with those places in the hood. If you ain't seen no commercial for them, that lets you know that they already know that you're gonna eat the shit anyway. So
That's
I
right.
want to go to Panamania Ricky here because I know that we had this conversation and on a live a couple of nights ago. That Panamania Ricky is you're half Panamanian or full.
No, like half. So that was kind of the thing that I was like getting to is my opinion. Not all the time, but it's like if I say something that people don't agree with, the go to is like, and they don't know me. They just see the handle,
Yeah.
and it's like, you're not even black. But so like I said, my grandparents on my mother's side came from Panama. My father's side is, I guess, what you would call foundational Black Americans. My experience, I'm from Philly. I'm from North Philly, so I never been to Panama. You know what I'm saying? I use the handle because on a side note, just because like growing up, I always thought the coolest names was the people who had like Haitian
Like
Jack
Haitian Jack.
or yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Maserati Rick. Well, I always like those type of names. So when I got on Instagram, that's just a handle that I use. But my mother's side of my family is from Panama. Is from Panama. But it's like that's kind of the thing that I was trying to point out in the last conversation was like because my experience is nothing but I'm just a little black kid from the hood. But when people see the Panamanian, it's like they automatically just try to
They
discredit the things that I'm
stereotype you.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just based off, and it's like, I mean, I never really was into the whole that conversation, FBA and all of that. I mean, I never like really delved into it, but that was just my experience where people would just say, like, even though nothing about me is anything but Black American, you know what I'm saying? That's my whole life, my whole experience. I just have grandparents that came from Panama, but it's like they discredit everything about you just because I guess you're not, what you would consider foundational Black America. That's why I made the comment that I made in our last conversation because it was kind of bothering me that,
Yeah.
they see Panamanian Ricky and the first thing they say is, well, you're not Black.
Well, you know what? That's the perfect example of certain terms getting in the wrong hands because a lot of people just take that word tether and they think that they could just say it to any and everybody. There's certain
Right.
context that comes with that terminology. Just because you have a Panamanian mother and you have a Black American father, I mean, this is just my opinion. I thought tethers were people that undermined Black culture, that used it for their own personal gain and didn't disrespect us. Am I wrong by that? By saying that, Dave? Is that
You
correct?
are so right. You said it right.
Like, Dave, is that the correct way of going about it?
I mean, for the most part, the thing of it is, it's like anything else, right?
Right.
My argument is, and this is no disrespect to Ricky at all, because I mean, if he from North Philly, like I'm from 25th and Diamond, so I
There you
understand.
go.
Yeah, I'm
33rd we
saying.
are.
No, okay, you round the corner. So, anywho and anyhow, the problem is the problem with Black folks is we love to be otherly. You know what I'm saying? Even when you look at Nas would like he don't do it no more, but you know, 1 minute, you know, he is Gambino this, and you know what I'm saying? Like we love to identify with some other derivative. You ain't say nothing about where your black half is from. Everything is surrounded by Panamanian. Everybody wants to hang on to the other thing. So you're leaning on the one thing because that's how you were raised, whether you're conscious of it or not. What happens is when you lead with that one thing, you're automatically making yourself otherly from who we are as foundational Black Americans. It's like when Tiger Woods says, I'm Kabul-Asian. The fuck? Fuck!
Right.
Nigga, please. Because if you was Kabul-Asian, you wouldn't have got offended when they sat up there and said they're going to serve fried chicken, watermelon, and greens at the Masters. It wouldn't have offended you because you're so mixed up. And so you're setting yourself up to because you're talking like a tether. I'll give you a real world example. My brother was a cop. He was a cop in the 25th, right? I would be like, yo, I remember I was a kid and I say to him, I say, Aaron, you know, they'll give you a huge discount if you just tell them you a cop. He said, yeah, the problem with that is if I show up and I give them my badge and I get that discount, if something goes down, I have to act and I'm off and I'm spending time with my kid brother. So it's not the time for me to do that. That's why I don't show up in the uniform. If you show up in the uniform of a tether and lead from a tether place, you know what I'm saying? When you're having conversations about foundational Black American issues, and the first thing they see is Panamanian Ricky or, you know, Dominican Michelle or whomever, anything that you say that's contrarian to what most foundational Black Americans believe is going to be met with a lot of skepticism because that's what tethers do, in that they cosplay like they're one of us and then start talking about what we need to do. It's not your fault. But it's your responsibility to make people aware of who you are as far as being a foundational Black American, as much as because I know everything about your mama's side. I'm real clear on that. I don't know where your father's people are from, even in this interaction. You understand what I'm saying?
But
That's
Dave,
why
but
you're
it's
getting
really,
that.
well, I get that, but what I'm saying is literally outside of the name. Like, let's say if my just name was just Ricky. There's nothing about me. There's nothing about me that would be like, oh, I don't have an accent. I don't sit up here and say, well, you know, where I'm from is this way or that, this, that, or the third. It's like it's really just in the name. It's nothing else to it. But I get what you're saying though. Just and the name is leading with other. I'm saying I'm an other.
Not just the name, your conversation.
I
Your
think that
conversation is leading with it.
Yeah.
But my conversation is
well,
it's
If
kind
you
of
go
like the
back, I
same
want you to do me a favor.
Go
Tomorrow
ahead.
night, when you've had 24 hours to digest this, come back and watch the replay on this and look how many times you mentioned, you know, where your mama's people are from. I still don't know where your father's people are from specifically.
They're from Virginia. That's all I know. That's all. And
But
that,
you
like I'll
didn't,
say,
but you see how I had to pull that out of you? But nobody had to pull out the Panama part.
right. All right. And I feel where he coming from. I just want to say I think that sometimes because a lot of this, you know, this conversation of is it true, is it not true, or are they tethered? A lot of this comes from nowadays. Because back when I was younger, yo, in the hood, everybody knew they was Indian. Everybody knew that we went to school. They told us something different, but everybody, your mama told you, your aunties and them told you, and we had different people that was from different places, or their parents might be something. So, for instance, there's 1,000 niggas named Ricky in Baltimore.
At least.
Now, there's about 50 niggas named Ricky on the east side. 20 of them around the same area I live in. So this Ricky right here, that's Panama, yo. That's Panama Ricky. We got Panama Ricky. You got black ass Ricky over there. You got Ricky from 2100. So I think the reason why Panama, what you don't realize is, bro, when you approaching these live panels, you're not round away right now. You're not in Philly right now when you're on these live panels. See, and if we all walking down the street in Philly, and that's Panama Ricky, no one's going to think tether. No one's going to think like that. But if you come on a live stream, man, these niggas from all over the world, and they just got teased. They got people making videos talking shit to them. They got people goddamn. You showed the girl that died doing the crip walk with the client, right? So when they see Panama Ricky, niggas already ready to goddamn go scrap because we don't know what time you on, bro. That's like checking into the feds. You gotta let the niggas know what car you in off the rip. Now again, if we in Philly, we know what's up with Panama Ricky. We know his mother, she Panamanian, whatever. But we call him Panama Ricky because it's 1,000 fucking Rickies out here. However, when you get on live, we not in
Hmm.
Philly. Let them niggas know who you be. Man, you Ricky from Philly. You
And it's like
25th, right?
we're in such a time right now where like that's kind of where we are. It's crazy that we there, but we are, especially when it comes to politics. And we're gonna get into that, but I want to hear Food's point of view.
I mean, being that I'm born and raised in Jersey, and I probably went to one of the most diverse high schools in Jersey at Science High. Everybody was there, so we wasn't on that. It seemed like that shit has developed. The
Yeah.
one thing to me, the one thing that's been constant is when it comes to black issues, American black indigenous issues, y'all need to shut the fuck up. That's where it should be because they like to. It's funny. They talk shit about us, but anything minority based, they take advantage of it in the United States. And then in the same breath, they talk shit about the community. But you live in the community until you get your fucking money, then you out and you go move to the suburbs. Which it's a never ending cycle. But bottom line is we got to take control of our own shit because if you notice, and I'm not talking about nobody on the panel, I'm talking about in the grander scheme of things. Motherfuckers will bring up that tether shit, but they ain't doing shit in their fucking community.
Mm-hmm.
Not a damn thing. They'll talk about it, but they ain't doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
The same motherfucker that'll talk about tether has never voted in any election, local or national, ever. But they the first one there when something go wrong with their child. Now they had a school board meeting, but they had to go look it up to see when the fucking time and day was. That's a problem. The issue that we have is that and Dave hit the nail on the head. We in our community is too much inclusion. It's way too much inclusion. Focus on our shit first and then branch out instead of letting everybody in. That's why I don't know about y'all. I hate that shit down to the fucking depths of my bones when people say people of color and person of color. I hate that shit.
Listen.
I mean, it really boils me because I'm like, yo, say who the fuck you are. If you Haitian, you Haitian. If you Dominican, fuck that people of color shit. We don't hear them say people of non-color. We'll hear that shit. Fuck that. That's where we have to get to, but we have to do it. It's lives like this that start the fucking conversation.
Yeah.
This is the type of shit that we have to be on because what we do know is a group of 5 can turn into 1,000 real fast.
Mm-hmm.
6 degrees of separation is some gangster shit, but you have to make sure you don't have any infiltrators. That's the problem. We talk about this social media shit. Panamanian Ricky, that's my home. We haven't even met in person yet.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucking pretty realist. That's my sister. We haven't met in person yet. Dave, we've met.
Mm-hmm.
JD, a different type of cat. He a Baltimore cat. Me and Baltimore cats. I've been rocking with them since I was like 8. I know how they get down. And Jermaine, I know him personally. We have to start communicating outside of these panels and all this other shit and linking up with each other because we're the ones with the goddamn power.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. But the main thing is we cannot allow infiltrators in. That is the problem. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. And the messaging is off.
Yeah.
The messaging is very, very off. I respect certain people that talk about the FBA. Somebody like a Professor James Small, massive respect. I know him personally. Kaba Kabane, massive respect. Know him personally. Dr. Phil Valentine, he was on our podcast once, but the stuff that that's different, and they also lived it. I don't want to hear no motherfucking 25-year-old kid talk about no goddamn FBA shit. Shut your ass up. Don't talk to me about white supremacy. Shut your ass up. You ain't dealt with none of that. And 9 times out of 10, one of your best friends growing up was white. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want us to move past certain shit because it's what they talk about. It just ain't there. That shit is imaginary. And if you keep talking about it, you're going to embrace it.
Amen. I know that's right. I hear you on that. And I'm glad that we were talking about this because now we're going to see how that falls in when it comes to politics. because Mr. Byron Donalds got himself in quite a pickle.
Sound like a
Uh,
personal problem.
he got in a pickle because of the comment that he made on the Breakfast Club regarding foundational Black Americans and reparations. So
Hmm.
considering that we're close to the primaries, we see that there are more Black Republicans that are running. You got Christian up there, Christian Maxwell up there in Illinois. I think there's a couple of others. So how does this foundational Black American and people knowing their lineage, do you think that it's going to play a major part in how Black America is going to vote in the next election?
I
Considering
was
that we have considering that we have so many immigrants that have been voted into these positions for the last few years.
I
What you
would
think,
certainly
Dave?
love to hope so, but the truth of the matter is, black folks love tradition more than they love common sense. I remember once being on a nationally syndicated morning show, and I was asking them if they could tell me, what Biden's Build Back Better plan was, and they said, "Well, how would we know that?" I'm like, "There's a website. He got a website." Yeah, well, I mean, most people just don't even know that. Yeah, but y'all know who Blueface is sleeping with. Like this is the level of stupidity. And again, to Foo's point, if you're not a foundational Black American, you ain't got nothing to say about us. So you really do need to shut the hell up. Byron Donalds is Jamaican.
This is true.
Cool. I mean, so is Kamala allegedly. But again, we live in a world where Jasmine Crockett can get on the Breakfast Club and talk about how Byron Donalds is a sellout because he's married to a white woman, but she was endorsing a
White
black
woman.
woman. No, no, she was endorsing a black woman who was married to a white man, a
Ah,
small-headed white man.
yeah.
And I've been black my whole life. I don't care if you're Panamanian, Jamaican, whatever. I ain't never met a black person who has ever said that they've washed their greens in the tub. I ain't never heard of it. If y'all have, please point me out to that nasty heifer because I don't want to be nowhere near her cooking. Um, so my whole thing is we don't understand what voting means because we do not understand the importance of the vote and what we're supposed to get out of it. We do it like it's our duty and we say that, oh, our ancestors died for this. No, our ancestors died for us to have the right to think and then vote.
Right.
They went through not having to make sure that we didn't have to deal with poll taxes and grandfather clauses and all of these things. And you don't even take the time to understand what these people are doing. And that's the thing. Bill Clinton had ordered a black woman to look up what was going to happen with immigration and how it was going to affect black people specifically. And she said it was going to hurt, black employment. It was going to do an upended job on the black middle class. And so they fired that black woman, buried the report, and then kept everything exactly how it is. So y'all can miss me. They have known for the past 30 years what immigration has done. So yeah, they're going to continue to vote against their own interests because they count on black people to be exactly what they are: lulled to sleep, slow as hell, and not paying attention to what's absolutely happening.
Facts. And shout out to Sheldon Daniels down there in Texas, another
Yeah,
brother that's out there running as a
yeah.
Republican. We really need to if you out there in Texas, make sure you all vote for this brother, man. Is he still even running against Jasmine?
I don't know if he's running against Jasmine. I know there's a few people out there running. Peyton Jackson's running in Texas, but she's running for District 33. So there's a lot of people who are running who are black who have their heads on straight. I
Mm,
think Sheldon Daniels is absolutely dope. But my whole thing is, I don't care about personality. What do you have for me?
yeah, yeah. I like Sheldon. Sheldon all right with me. What's going on
I'm bl-
politically? Just came
I,
back, man.
I'm black. I'm on call, so I had this dude blowing my phone up like it's a emergency. I'm like, nigga, what? It's not an emergency.
That's cool. Ain't no
Anyway,
problem. Welcome back. Welcome back. So
Is
food
Sheldon
like
Daniels in the chat?
yeah, he's in the chat. I didn't even
Bring
know
his
until
ass
I
up
looked
here.
over here. Yo, hey,
Hey,
food,
hey,
can
hey,
you?
hold on, wait a minute. Shorten Daniels, hey,
He's in
Shorten
the
Daniels,
chat.
you ain't
Bring
here in
your ass
Baltimore
up
shouting you
here.
out there?
I'm doing
Hey,
my
Shorten
best. I,
Daniels.
I just I just sent them the link.
Yo,
Hey,
I
yo,
I
see
I'm,
sent him the link.
Sheldon.
I sent him the
Sheldon
hey, yo,
link.
I'm
Daniels
about to
not in the
lean
room.
on
I'm waiting.
Shorten.
I'm waiting. Hopefully he'll jump on.
Yeah, I
Hey,
would
hey, hey,
love for him to come up here.
hey, hey, I was shouting Shorten Daniels out in Baltimore.
Yeah,
hey,
Sheldon Daniels school, man.
hey, Dave, I got a
Yo,
question for you because I was
yeah.
watching. I was watching while I was off.
No,
What
no.
so I was talking to Food about this offline a couple days ago, and I made a post on Facebook about it.
Hmm.
So as far as with the midterms coming up, a lot of people don't know it's only been two times in voting history where a president had four terms with the same Congress and Senate. Only two times. So when you see it like that, and you kind of see that it's probably going to flip, what do you think about that? As far as like, I know we gotta get out and vote, but when you see that the shit is already fucking rigged and it seems like it's planned, doesn't that dishearten you a little bit?
No, no.
Okay,
Let me explain why.
okay.
Um, the problem with most people is they get caught up in things because they don't understand patterns, right? If you go back a few years when Obama had a majority, guess what happened in the midterms? Republicans rose. Uh, And my whole thing is, are we coming to an agenda? I don't care who is in the White House. I don't care who's in Congress. I don't care who's in Senate. At the end of the day, at that point, you work for we the people. And if you don't have an agenda for them, it don't matter if they ride in a donkey or they ride in an elephant. What are you coming to them with? How much are
Mm.
you demanding of them? But with, like this nonsense. I remember once I cussed out Amanda Seals because she kept talking about this is the most important election ever, and we have to do. I said, really? I said, really? So it was important when Mitt Romney was running. It was important when John McCain was running. It was important. Like we every time there's an election, this is the most important. This is the this. So, shut up. Focus on what you need. Are your communities in shambles? Whether Democrats are in there or Republicans in there, the answer is a resounding yes. So, are we fixing our communities? Do we know what our superintendent is doing? Do you know the name of the person in charge of the teachers union in the city that you're in? If you have children, you should.
Yeah.
If you're not homeschooling them, we're worried about the wrong things. You're worried about how Donald Trump had 34 felonies. Name them. Most people can't. Well, Donald Trump said grab them in the coochie. See, the problem with that, for me, as a person who came up as a child entertainer and was entertaining until I was about 30 something, I've been backstage. I've seen Chico DeBarge's drummer brush a girl's teeth without a toothbrush just
Mm.
because he was Chico DeBarge's drummer. I have seen Mobb Deep take three chicks out the club, RIP the Prodigy, and do crazy things with them, including up to and grabbing them. So let's not act like celebrity don't have a place. Chris Rock famously said, you know, it's not about harassment, it's about attraction. Because if Clarence Thomas looked like Denzel, there would have never been none of that with Anita Hill.
Mm.
It's a fact. So now that we got that out of the way, what are we talking about policy wise?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm so sick and tired of people talking about, well, you know, in the midterms, and we're going to, and I'm not saying that this is you. I'm just saying, generally speaking, it's like, well, and why would I be disheartened? I write checks. I can right now. Do you remember? I'll give you an example. Do you remember when in Philly, two guys walk into a Starbucks, have to go to a bathroom, and the cops came and arrested them?
Yep.
I,
I
I
remember
went and
that.
Mhm.
I went and called the city councilman for that district. His name is Kenyatta Johnson, and I said to him, "Yeah." He said, "Dave, don't worry about it. I'm on it." He hung up the phone. The next morning, he was on television. The day after that, the CEO of Starbucks was in that city. The reason that that happens is because I write checks. That is the difference. Y'all just go and vote for people and let them do whatever the hell they want to do. No, I want you in my back pocket because that's how everybody else plays. That's why every town has a little Italy. That's why every town got a diamond district and a deli district. Black people do not have brother town because brothers is not cutting the check and getting behind real candidates. So I don't give a rat's ass who gets in on the midterms. I want people who literally will get out of my way as a business owner. But I'm not disheartened at all because it doesn't matter. Because what did Trump say? I bought Democrats, I bought Republicans. That's what I'm going to do. So that's what that is. And if
Hey
you can't, you
Dave.
need to start pulling your resources. Yes, sir.
Hey, I was working down Southwest, like I want to say, I don't know, let's just say 56 in Woodland. They got
Mm-hmm.
a sign up that say, "Welcome to Little Africa." welcome to Africa Town or something like that. It blew my mind because South the Africans got Southwest. It's over.
Oh yeah, I mean, but you already know what that is. Again, and this
So
is what
you're
I
right.
say to folks because they get it. They like when Africans say we
Hey, Tom.
understand. Nah, man, y'all get an immigrant experience, and when you get an immigrant experience, you're not treated like us. Y'all go out of y'all way to make sure y'all ain't treated like us. So yeah, I believe there's an African town, just like I know there's Puerto Rican areas.
Yeah.
Duh, I'm not surprised. But
There's a
let me
side
shut up.
over here.
Cholin's here.
There's a side out here in Indianapolis. It's the West Side, and it's called literally the International Shopping District. And they have a whole Walmart. Nobody speaks English in there. Nobody.
Wow,
What up, Mr. Daniels? No, you
Hey,
not.
y'all, what's
Not.
going on?
No, you
he
didn't
chilling,
just fill up in here
chilling.
like you off. You off the
Man,
clock.
I'm taking advantage of this cold weather. We got the road shut down here in Dallas, so I'm trying to do some. I got new literature and stuff got to come out for the primary.
Nice. Welcome, welcome. I ain't seen you in a minute. How has everything been going? Tell the people who you are, what's going on.
Yeah, nah. First of all, thank you for having me again, and you were one of the first people to have me on a podcast and help me get to where I'm at now. We've taken off. We've man. When I first came out and I said, I'm running against Jasmine, I'm running as a Republican, Southern Dallas County, everybody was like, man, that's going to be crazy. She's still going to be there. But now look, what happened is we exposed her for who she really was to a lot of the people here locally, put a lot of pressure on her. And then, she just we kind of let her do the whole Operation Let Her Speak deal. So with the spotlight being on her and then her just underperforming and just consistently embarrassing us, I think she saw the writing on the wall. Her own people on her side were like, "Look, Jasmine, we don't think you're the one." And so it didn't happen quite how I wanted it to happen. I wanted to beat her fair and square in the general this November, but we got her to, back out of trying to be TX30's rep, and now she's on this fool's errand trying to run and be a Texas senator, which is crazy. So yeah, you ask how the campaign's going. I think that is a huge, tremendous success. We got Jasmine Crockett out of TX30.
Yes.
Shout out to y'all. But now we got her preacher. We got Freddie Haynes, who they have tapped to come, and counter this MAGA energy, this black conservative energy that we got growing. And so he's trying to use his big elite black church networks, and the black church and NAACP, all those guys are kind of like de facto arms of the Democrat Party. And so they're tapping deep into that whole network and trying to counter everything that we're doing. But fortunately for us, we're still gaining ground. This past week, I was invited to speak during the MLK Day celebration at the local. It's like they're called the Texas Metro News. If you want to look them up, they are probably one of the most Democrat, left-leaning, black-owned publications here in North Texas. But they have been courting my campaign. They invited me to come speak. They didn't hate on me. They let me talk and they let me give my whole spiel. And then afterward, we had a lot of their people wanting to come work with us. They've been in contact with my campaign every day since then. And hopefully, we're going to get them to start telling some more conservative, points of view in their publication, because that's really what we need. It's hard to get through to our people when they're so insulated from the conservative point of view. And
Amen.
so, you know what I mean? That to me is another win, just to, be invited to come and speak to, in earnest, dyed in the wool old school Democrats, because they feel politically stranded right now. I don't think that they feel equal, or they're not really behind this anti-ICE movement. They're not really behind this Somali fraud. They're not really behind this trancing of kids, the waste, fraud, and abuse. And the Democrat Party this year, especially recently, they've drawn a hard line in the sand saying, look, we are not religious. We are not trying to be Christians. We are not trying to be religious at all. In the black community, that's gonna, you can outwardly say you still support the Democrat Party, but if we're being real, you have to reckon with that. Like, who are you allegiant to? God, your faith, your values, or this Democrat cult? Because
Right.
that's essentially what it's becoming. And so when I went and spoke, I offered them this, question, this opportunity to be kind of introspective and reflect. And many of them were like, you know what? So long as we are genuinely welcome in the Republican Party and we don't get over there and they expect us to, sell out and coon out and forget all our blackness, then we're listening. We're listening. What are you guys offering? And now we're on what we should be talking about, which is the policies. What are
Yes.
they offering? And so I think we're doing an amazing job. We still have a few weeks before the primary race comes up. But I mean, I'm about to start taking over the radios on Sundays here in Dallas. Just spent a lot of money on literature. We got new merch. I just dropped an album. Y'all, I'm trying to do everything in my power to get this message to the people. And so I got an album out there. Go to my website, check it out. It's basically our message in music form. But it puts the focus back on what matters, which is the policies. So I'm going to land my plane right there.
I
Well, I
wanna.
have a quick. Hold on. I wanted to ask him a quick question. So, as a Black Republican candidate, like, what motivated you to run for office, and like, what problems do you believe is not being addressed that made you step forward?
I'm 39 years old. I'm a dad. I'm capable of getting involved at that level, at that policymaking level, and having real effect. And I'm just the type of person where eventually, if I look and I see a problem and there's nobody offering a solution, and I know how to solve it, I'm just going to step up my entire life. From volunteering to the military as a kid, like I was not always the biggest kid, but if I saw somebody getting bullied just incessantly every day, I was probably going to be the kid that was going to end up fighting that bully eventually, even if it wasn't my problem. That's just how,
Okay, man.
how I am and who I am. But being a kid, I came across an article one day, and it was something they were doing out of California where
My
they were
man's
trying to
question,
make
man.
the felony offense of soliciting a minor for prostitution. Basically, you're a pimp and you're going after 10 and 11-year-old runaway girls. They try to turn that into a low level felony offense. And I was just like, you know, it's one thing to vote Republican, right? But it's another thing to just allow these people to sit over there and fester with this evil and these evil policies. So I'm like, I need to take the fight to the root. I need to go to Capitol Hill and fight it, at the root. I need to go up there and caucus with other Americans like myself, people like, will you hush, baby? I'm trying to talk. Like Christian.
That's that
And
new baby back there.
that's hey, she's walking now.
Oh,
And
really?
she's
Come on,
walking now.
man.
But the idea is not just for me to get to Congress, it's really a bigger fight. It's me to get to Congress, open that door, inspire a bunch of other real patriots, grassroots, blue collar people. Come here, let me pick her up. Hold on. And we just create a wave, and it's we need a reset button on Capitol Hill. And I think we all feel this way, but how many of us know how to put our name on the ballot and how to raise money and how to build a coalition? And then when you get elected, how many know how to draft a motion or hold a meeting with lobbyists and actually stand on your own and not be completely overwhelmed or intimidated by the money and the big words or whatever it is? I've been groomed for this. I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney the past 11 years. I heard another brother on here earlier just dropping jewels that I haven't even thought about since I was in college. He talked Booker T. Washington and he talked Marcus Garvey and he talked all these things. And I'm just like, that is the awakening that I'm fighting for. It's not trying to run for Congress. I'm trying to wake people up. The real mission for me is to break this spell that the Democrats have on black people, first and foremost. How can I do that best? Well, I need a platform from which I can operate. And so I just go back to the source. It was my ancestors that started the Republican Party. I see the Republican Party as something that I am already bought, like I'm already blood in with them. It's not really choosing to be or go be a Republican. It's more like, being true to who I already am and what I already am. And so I see myself as like a crusader, somebody who's going, I'm like a modern day Harriet Tubman. I'm going into the South, I'm going into these Democrat bastions, and I'm literally freeing minds and pulling them back to where we can now talk economics and we can talk traditional family values and how do we repair our moral fabric in our community to where our children don't want to slaughter each other. You know what I mean? And our little girls are actually proud of their bodies and respect themselves. Where we're not so quick to want to abort our young. Oh, baby, I almost fell off the couch. This is my real fight. So yeah, Congress is really just a platform. It'll give me the opportunity to bring a lot of people together, not only here locally but nationwide. And just who I am, I will be an example for so many young people, black, white, brown, to just wise up about what's really going on out here and find your way in the political world. You don't have to go full blown Mitt Romney or Barack Obama, but there are ways that you can be active and involved and engaged in a community where you can actually have a real impact, and it's just a part of your lifestyle. You know what I mean? And so we got to be that example.
I
I
love
just
that.
I just wanted to say, I want to ask both of y'all.
Real quick, I want to ask a question. I raise my hand. I want to ask a question. Very
He has
important.
had the hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have, yo. I'm sorry. With all due respect, APEC.
You good, Chuck?
One thing
I
that
can't
people
hear you,
have been
brother.
at, one thing that people have been asking me. I definitely mention you a lot because Jasmine Crockett is so freaking popular. I'm in Baltimore, yo. So I've been supporting. I've said a few things
I
about you.
can't
You made
hear
a
that
video
brother too.
before, right? So, quick question that a lot of people want to know: will you ever take any type of donation from APEC or any Israel-funded organizations?
I can't hear anything. Hold on.
Okay.
Man,
Okay.
don't get my live shut down because you talking about these
I just
JPEG.
asked a question. I won't ask you no more. I'm done.
Nah, nah, nah. Hold up. Can you hear me? Can y'all
I
hear
can
me?
hear. I can hear Fu. I can't hear anybody else.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so
Okay.
what he's asking is he's talking about in wherever he said he's out there in Baltimore. He's been promoting for you, but a lot of people have questions when it comes to APAC. How you feel about them possibly endorsing you? Have you been my question is, have you been approached, and how will you be able to handle that?
No, I haven't been approached formally. I may have received like the boilerplate questionnaire that I think one of the, it's not officially APAC, but it's an organization that I think is affiliated with APAC, that they send out a questionnaire to all the federal candidates. And we may or may not have completed that questionnaire. I've done so many of them, I couldn't really tell you. But what I can tell you is that people in TX30 don't care about APAC. We have a lot more pressing issues than APAC. That to me is more of like a foreign policy issue. And right now, my mission is flipping TX30, and I'm
Mm.
running to win the race. I can't put a lot of time and effort and resources into an issue that doesn't really affect my constituents, if that makes sense. Now, once I'm elected, yeah, absolutely, you guys can hold me accountable for that. But here's all I have to say about APAC, right? I don't know anything about them outside of the conspiracy videos that I used to watch back in college. But I've since learned that a lot of the stuff that I used to watch back then was, it was propaganda. So I don't know what to believe. What I do know is I'm America first. I don't believe that America should be beholden to any other country on the face of this planet. I don't care if it's Israel, Mars, I don't care who it is, right? I don't like the idea that people can come over here and buy our politicians. I don't care what country you're from. And I don't like the idea that there's people, on the other side of the planet that feel entitled to American tax dollars. I don't care who you are. Africa, whatever. And so, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to foreign policy and the state of the world right now, I'm so America first. I'm ready to go in on anybody. Like, I'll go to war with West Africa if it comes down to it, because we just need it. I mean, straight up. West
You
Africa,
might
if
need
you
to be
want to
the
get
president.
technical, like those people sold us. They were the last nations on earth to end slavery. You got a lot
Facts.
of people pissed off about reparations and slavery and the legacy of chattel slavery in America, but none of that smoke is for the people who profited from it the most. So that's how I'm looking at it. But to answer your question specifically, I got no beef with APAC. I got no love for APAC. I don't care about APAC. I care about TX30. APAC doesn't touch TX30 unless they come here and they try to buy me off. Then that's how they would offend me personally. And I would let y'all know. I think y'all know that you can trust me. I'm not about the money or the fame. I'm not trying to be buddy buddy with these politicians. I want to go get a job done and then bring my black bud home. So if APAC approaches me and they try to bribe me or pay me off, I put them on blast, but I doubt that'll happen because those people, they're pretty smart. They do their research and they know who they can approach and who they can't. And I feel like they've kind of felt me out from some of the big events that I've been to. I've had people kind of try to steer the conversation and see where I'm at, check my temperature on the whole APAC thing. And I think I've satisfied, their investigation to the point where they're like, look, I don't think this guy's the one. We got to get a Jasmine. You need a Jasmine. Sheldon ain't the one. He's too down. Like I'm too connected to this community and the people here. I'm not that connected to the big Republicans and the party and the institutions yet. I'm still very grassroots. So no to APAC if I'm just gonna be clear about it.
All right. Well,
Now,
thank you so much for that.
now
I appreciate it. Who was about to say something?
that's me. Me. I'm glad that I have both of y'all on the panel. Dave and Sheldon. I want to definitely make sure that y'all have like a formal introduction, and I'll make sure that when we get off of this podcast, I'll send each one of y'all each other's number because y'all definitely need to communicate without question.
Okay.
That's what
Thank you.
Dave, are you cool with that?
Yeah, no, that's fine, bro. You know I have a conversation with everybody.
That's what I because
Wow.
I wanted to make sure that happened, especially once Sheldon's name came up and you was like, I want to hear policies. So that right there is a great way to have a private
Oh, I got
conversation.
policy, bro. We can talk policies. What
Yeah,
do you want
that's
to hear?
no. It's not even about now. That's gonna be a conversation y'all can have. But that's why I wanted you to come up because this was important. This is most definitely important for an opportunity for you to even come on because you are a black conservative. That's like this is exactly what we need to have real conversations and more so real connections. So that was my thing.
Man, I tell people, a vote for me, if you're talking policy wise, a vote for me. Hold on, my camera's going off. I'm right now secure elections, voter verification, secure borders, obviously, enforcing current immigration law, maybe even shoring it up a little bit. I don't like the idea that they try to hide behind, well, coming over here is just a civil offense. Well, let's make it a criminal one. Let's make it a criminal one then. Deportation, especially of the criminal illegal aliens, government transparency, accountability, term limits. One of the reasons why Pelosi was able to get so rich and kind of skirt the insider trading laws is because she wasn't actually meeting with the insiders at these big corporations. It was her husband who was meeting. She has to report her contacts and her meetings, but her husband doesn't have to. That's a huge loophole. So policy wise, stuff like that, it's like straightforward stuff. Now your spouse also has to report if they're meeting with these insiders on your behalf. Things like that. Man, I got 20 different policies, boilerplate policies that, I can just espouse. And
Mhm.
I think most of them are probably 80-20 issues. And this is why I felt so confident running here in TX30 because I'm like, man, if I can just get people to listen to the policies, we got it. And that's what's
Word,
happening.
word. Question for you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think about Everett Jackson and how everything shook out?
I don't really know how things shook out. Everett Jackson, for people who don't know, Everett Jackson is a local guy who he was running for city council in DeSoto. And like I said, man, I'm trying to fight the fight. So he came to me, he's like, look, man, I got this felony, the election's in like 2 or 3 days. I didn't tell anybody that I went down for aggravated robbery back in the day. He did like time for aggravated robbery. And I'm like, whatever, man. I'm not going to judge you. I'll help you out. What do you need? So I took his case and I essentially, fought hard. And in 2 days, I got this guy an order that basically made him clear to still run for and hold office because they were trying to keep him from getting his name on the ballot. He got his name on there. It was like some drama. He ended up losing. Then he said he's running for state representative. He came to one of my events, came up on my stage and endorsed me for Congress. And then like 3 weeks later, starts blowing up my phone. And I'm busy and I'm just like, we never connected. The next thing I know, he sends me this long text message saying, hey man, I've been blowing you up because somebody at the party wants me to run against you and I'm gonna challenge you in the primary. And I'm like, more power to you, brother. I like people having options, but I don't, I think that's kind of whack of you to allow yourself to be played like that. Like, first of all, we were supporting you for city council and state house, and I'm putting real time. I didn't charge you, bro. Like, I have a high hourly rate. I took a complaint and a challenge to my law license from a judge just for helping you. Like, that's how bad the politics here in Dallas is. Like, these Democrats attack me just for helping Everett Jackson. So I almost
Hmm.
lost my law license over it.
Right.
And then he repays me by trying to challenge me in the primary, but he frames it as, it's not that I have a problem with you. You've pissed somebody off in the party, and this is girl named Ajwa here at the Republican Party. She's a tether. She's one of the people y'all talking about.
Mhm.
You know, I came in and she had on like the whole straight hair, blonde wig, half falling off her head. You know, one of those Republicans. You know what I mean?
Bruh.
And when I came in, she kind of had to change her style up because it's just different. Well, she doesn't like that I didn't put her in charge of my campaign. I raised $250,000 and she came to me and she was like, "Hey, I want to be in charge. I want to run your team." And I was like, "Well, you can help me knock some doors and draft some letters and do some groundwork first and sweat with me, and then I'll put you in charge of stuff." Well, she was too good for that. She only wants to come around when the cameras are around. And so I kind of cut her out of my loop.
Mhm.
Well, she got pissed off and she goes to Everett Jackson and she's like, "Well, Everett, I want you to run against Sheldon, because we don't have any control over him." And so that's essentially what this whole thing is. Everett Jackson is not a serious contender for Congress here. All these precinct chairs, they all endorse me and they all see this as this is something that I didn't realize was going on before I got into politics, that the
Mhm.
Republicans amongst themselves have all these little battles and they're fighting amongst themselves. Well, when I ran, it ruffled a lot of feathers because you know, I guess they had agreed to not run anybody in TX30, the Republicans. But when I said I'm running, they're like, "Oh, well, shit, now we got to pretend like we care." But they really sent a bunch of people into my campaign to sabotage my shit. People to come in and take my voter list,
Mhm.
and basically just like milk all my resources, but not help me. Say they're going to
So
help me. And then when the time comes, they would drop out and like leave me hanging. So when I start peeping this, I start falling back from the local party, a few people at the local party. It just so happens those few people are really influential, and they are the ones. It's two people, D. Holly and Oshawa Mason. That's who's backing Everett Jackson. Literally everybody else supports me, bro. And you
Mhm.
can tell by the money that they've raised and the endorsements that they've received.
So my
Mhm.
question, my follow up with that is, if like, because what you're pointing to basically sounds to me like there's corruption and sabotage. So then
Yeah,
why
of
stay?
course.
Then if that's the case, and you already know what the game is, then why stay loyal to a party that's just literally playing in your face?
Nah, it's not the party. So you got to understand, like it's actors within the party. So like
Hmm.
my executive director of the party, Colonel Allen West, has my back, but he can only do so much legally speaking. You can't show too much favoritism for one candidate during a primary race over the other candidates if you're the party. Does that make sense? You got to look neutral until somebody wins a primary, right?
Hmm.
And so Colonel West, he's done everything shy of cheating for me to help me out. He's put me on his podcast. He's opened doors. He's got me on Fox and all these big news channels and stuff and introduced me to people. But it's the girl that's in charge of candidate recruiting, right? She's new to it. It's her. And she's one of those people who, let me tell you, here's what I mean. There was a post that I put out about 5 or 6 years ago when we were getting killed left and right, and it was like nobody was saying anything. There was a post that I put out about 5 or 6 years ago when we were getting, and I expressed some anger. It was on Twitter, and I was like, "Look, man, this is some bullshit. It feels like a lot of white supremacy going on because the people that I trust to fight against this are being quiet." I'm talking about Trump. I call Trump out by name. Like, what the
Hmm.
hell, Trump? Like, are you cool with this shit or not? Well, Oswald Mason goes back, scours my shit. She's supposed to be on my side, scours my shit, and like sends it all around, and then comes and questions me like, "Am I a real Republican?" And I'm like, first of all, you black. What you mean? Am I a real? So I can only be a real Republican if I'm silent about issues that affect the black community. So that right there, when she said that to me, I'm like, yeah, you not one of us.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? She didn't like that. And so ever since then, she went from, "Oh, I got your back, I'll help you," to basically just trying to like snake me
Mm.
at every turn. And when I cold shouldered her, I'm 39 years old, man. Like I'm an
Right.
attorney. I know how to move around vultures. And
Right.
that's basically what she is. And it pissed her off because she didn't expect me to be able to move like that and still be
Hmm.
successful. Even without her, I'm still going on Will Kane. I'm still like traveling and raising all this money. Man, this
Hmm.
is pissing her off because she's got all these other candidates that she's promising the world to, and she can't get a win. Everybody she helped, they all lost their elections. They couldn't raise any money. So just by me doing what I'm doing, it's making her look bad. They need
Mhm.
an
Hmm.
Everett Jackson to bring Sheldon Daniels down because Sheldon Daniels is getting he's above his britches right now. You see what I'm saying? Like he didn't kiss the ring. Plus, he really is just a riffraff nigga from the hood. He doesn't deserve all this attention and all this, momentum without us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, bro, it's just pure grassroots work. They don't want to put it in, but
Hey,
it's
All
hey,
right.
Mr. Daniels,
that's
Hey,
what it
yeah.
is,
is there a
bro.
way that you can?
Ho. It's 7 o'clock on the dot. It's time to
Oh yeah, I
close
got a
up
call.
shop. So I was just playing.
Hey,
It's time
please,
to close up shop. I gotta do
but
wifely
but but but,
duties.
but just tell them real quick though.
Oh, yeah, I already did.
No, I'm saying, with all the followers all of us have, that man can literally start his own party and his own
Hey, we got
movement
a
right
debate
now.
on February 2nd,
I'm
though.
done.
They should stream it live, and you guys can see, the difference between myself and Everett Jackson, and then there's a few other candidates running as well. But these guys, man, it's so obvious that they saw the success and the momentum that my campaign got, and they just couldn't help themselves. Like they want that attention. That's why they're running. They want attention. I'm trying to get a job done.
I'm glad that you mentioned about like the things that you're going through because maybe people could kind of get an understanding of like how there are infiltrating ass people within the party.
Right, because Alan
Um,
West ain't doing you no favors either, bro.
nah.
Nah, he's not. But I didn't ask him to. When I walked in there and said I'm running, I just went in there as a courtesy. I'm like, y'all, I didn't think they would give me any support. I was like, look, I'm running, but I'm going to have to build my own infrastructure, get my own precinct chairs, raise my own money. I never went into this thinking like, oh, I'll just be a black Republican and they'll just roll out the red carpet. So the little bit of help that I did get from them, I was able to really, max that out, you know?
Word.
I appreciate that. Yeah, because I know that Christian's going through some similar situations up there in Illinois when it comes to
Mhm.
running, and I think that like people just automatically assume that when it comes to running for an office that you're not going to have some friction with people that's within your own realm, and that's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's it's politics. Like we were
Yes.
talking about it yesterday. It's politics and everything.
Yeah.
We live in a corporate. We live in a corporation. So there's politics in music business. There's
Sure
politics in the
enough.
entertainment industry. There's politics everywhere. So I just think that people got to understand that like we have infiltrators as well. We call them rhinos. We call them Dixiecrats. You know what I
Right.
Mhm.
mean? The only thing is that like we kind of they tell on themselves. The
Truly.
Right.
Democrats, you can't really tell because their party never calls them out. So all of
Right.
you people over in the comments that's talking this and that, we could call out the people because I'm gonna tell you something. I don't like Mitch McConnell ass. I don't like him. Okay.
And he's
There's
still
people.
rebooting?
Yes, every time. So it's just the crazy thing is that like we know that there's people within the Republican Party that we dislike, but you all don't never call out y'all people on the left.
Yeah.
No,
Nah.
I
Y'all
never do.
stand with them, and they're so good. And I'm gonna end with this. They're so good with hiding their crimes.
Mm.
So it's like, so you mean to tell me that Republicans the only ones that got some freaky motherfuckers on their side?
Yes, Republicans are the only racist. Republicans are the only criminals. Republicans are the only one hiring illegals. You didn't know that?
Man, like
Yeah.
we don't,
The
like we didn't,
Democrats are benevolent. You didn't know?
like we didn't see Cuomo with them nipple rings. Like we did not see that.
What? I swear.
Yes, y'all don't remember during the pandemic situation.
Nah.
He had on that shirt, that white shirt with them nipple rings. Them nipple rings was pronounced. Okay.
Nah.
And you talking to people about protecting themselves during the pandemic. He had them nipple rings on. You think we didn't remember about Tim Waltz and the situation with the horse out there in Arkansas, I believe? Y'all see, I'm
Hold on.
telling you.
What? Tim Waltz and a horse.
And the horseman, the horse,
Golly.
look, y'all got some dirty secrets. The only thing is that we know that the Democrats run majority of the news outlets. Y'all pretty much, they smart. They're some evil geniuses. I will give it to them. They invest their money where they need to, and they know how to get it done, but they know how to remove some shit real fast. So let me tell you something. Y'all, all will be revealed. Y'all can't keep hiding and sliding under the radar. Yeah,
Right.
it's not gonna keep happening.
Right.
But I'm gonna get up out of here, guys. I really, really appreciate this. This was
Thank you, Pretty.
this
Pretty, I
was
appreciate you,
taken
Pretty.
live on YouTube, and like I feel like I'm just I love this live. I appreciate you, gentlemen, for taking time out of y'all busy
Nah, I
schedules.
appreciate you. Yo, you put
Hey,
me on a live with a
I'm
politician.
supposed to be on the
You
phone
did
right
something
now.
big. You just put a hood nigga on a live with a politician, an inmate, a felon. That they
Yeah,
said won't
thank you
be
for
nothing.
having
I
me
had a
on here,
chance
and
to talk to
please
a
link with
fucking
me. Everybody
politician. I
else on
love
this
you, pretty.
panel, shoot
I
me
You
love
just
you
here.
put me
back.
on. You
I
just
love
turned me up, yo. You just put me on a live with a politician. They told me I wasn't gonna
I
make it.
gotta
I'm
jump.
on
I
a
got a
live with a
call at
politician.
6. Can I jump off,
Never
or is
was
that rude?
Yeah, that's
waiting.
fine. That's fine.
All
That's
right,
Hey,
I'll
fine,
see
pretty.
y'all.
Sheldon.
All
Bye,
right, later
Sheldon.
on.
Make sure you all vote for him if you down there in Texas. Thank you all so much. Follow all of my amazing panel guests. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all so much for checking out the live. And I'll see you all next week. We'll be back with the Realist Lounge every Sunday at 5 p.m. live. Thank you so much, brothers. Y'all have
hey,
no
pretty. I
idea how
appreciate
much
you.
this meant. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
go do my wifey duties and feed this man before he be looking at me like I'm crazy. Even though he don't know, I really want his ass to eat a goddamn sandwich. I don't feel like cooking a damn thing, but I started at 5. So I already
Hey,
started.
hey,
Thank y'all.
Dave.
Appreciate you.
All right,
Hey,
y'all.
Dave. You from the city, man? Hey, I know I'm a tether and all that, man. But listen, I would love. Hey, I love to meet you, bro, and have some conversation with you, man.
For sure. We'll make it happen.
I'm a big fan, bro.
I appreciate you, man. Much love. Make sure y'all go get the Real Black Agenda, man. Now go
Yes,
make your husband a sandwich.
I am. I made a whole dinner, Dave. I made meatloaf. I made mashed potatoes and green beans. And I'm gonna make him a dessert. He deserve it. He's been really he's been under the weather. I've been under the weather. So I'm gonna take care of him. All right.
He's sick of these damn Democrats. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. Bye, y'all. Peace. Subscribe to the channel. Bye, y'all.
All right, family.